That's one short note. Imagine you write this song it's sung all over the world. This is exactly what happened to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote all these songs. We're singing a song of a person who actually wrote a song. You know, and this is what Srila Prabhupada explains. This is what empowerment means. These devotees, the pure devotees in our disciplic succession, they actually, in one sense, are non-different from Krishna, because whatever they speak, whatever they do is transcendental. So therefore, when you sing Jaya Madhava, a song written by a person is actually a transcendental song about Krishna. There was also once instance, this one devotee wanted to write the poetry, and Prabhupada says, no, better stick to the authorized poets. I just want to be a little footnote. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat Nashtaprayeshu Bhatreshu Nitya Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. So we continue to read from the 5th canto, 18th chapter, today verse 23. Sattvam mama piyachyuta shirshni vanditam. Sattvam mama piyachyuta shirshni vanditam. Karam bhujam yatvat adai sattvatam. Karam bhujam yatvat adai sattvatam. Vivarshimam lakshma varenya mayaya. Vivarshimam lakshma varenya mayaya. Ka ishvaras yehitam uhitum vibur iti. So, ka ishvaresya ishvaras yehitam uhitum vibur iti. Sattvam mama piyachyuta shirshni vanditam. Karam bhujam yattvad adai sattvatam. Vivashimam lakshma varenya mayaya. Ka ishvaras yehitam uhitum vibur iti.
Vivashivam Lakshmavarenyamaya Ishvara Shri Viduriti Sattvamamadhya Chuta Shivandita Sattvamamadhya Chuta Shivandita Rambujam Yatvad Adaya Sattvatam Rambujam Yatvad Adaya Sattvatam Vivashivam Lakshmavarenyamaya Vivashivam Lakshmavarenyamaya Ishvara Shahitam Pulitam Viboditi Ishvara Shahitam Pulitam
Sattvamamapyachutasya Shrivanditam Karambujam Yatradadari Sattvatam Vivashivam Lakshmavarenyamaya Ishvarasya Hitam Puhitam Viduriti
Mataji.
Sattvamamapya Chutasya Shrivanditam Karambujam Yatvad Adaya Sattvatam Vivashivam Lakshmavarenyamaya Vaishvarasya Hitam Viduriti Sattvamamapya Chutasya Shrivanditam Karambujam Yatvad Adaya Sattvatam Vivashivam Lakshmavarenyamaya Kayaswaraya Hitam Viboditi
Saha, that, Tvam, you, Mama, of me, Api, also, Achyuta, O infallible one, Shirshni, on the head, Panditam, worshipped, Kara Ambujam, your lotus hand, Yat, which, Tvat, by you, Adhai, placed, Sattvatam, on the head of the devotees, Bibarshi, you maintain, Mam, me, Lakshma, as an insignia on your chest, Varenya, O worshipable one, Mayaya, with deceit, Kaha, who, Ishvarasya, of the supremely powerful controller, Ihitam, the desires, Uhitum, to understand by reason and argument, Vibhuhu, is able, Iti, thus. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. O infallible one, your lotus, this is Lakshmi Devi continues with her prayers. O infallible one, your lotus palm is the source of all benediction. Therefore, your pure devotees worship it, and you have very mercifully placed your hand on their heads. I wish that you may also place your hand on my head, for although you already bear my insignia of golden streaks on your chest, I regard this honor as merely a kind of false prestige for me. You show your real mercy to your devotees, not to me. Of course, you are the supreme absolute controller, and no one can understand your motives. Just, I'll speak a little bit and read because the purport is a little bigger. Just one quick note here. There's Lakshmi Devi. This is Lakshmi Devi's display of humility. It's not like it's not, devotees sometimes say, oh, I don't get any mercy, I'm useless or whatever, but this is we're talking here Lakshmi Devi. She's an eternal associate of Vishnu. I mean, this is like a most supreme personality. So this is just a part of humility. Many times devotees, great devotees, even in the spiritual world, even Lakshmi Devi herself, display this humility, and this is not a false humility. They don't think like, okay, I know who I am, but still I'll pretend that I'm humble. They actually are humble. They actually do think that way. As Srila Prabhupada on the board of Jaladuta, he wrote, "Your most insignificant beggar." I mean, this is like, I was just thinking, in my utmost humility, I could not write this knowing that this is not true. I don't think that way. Your most insignificant beggar. I do never think I'm most insignificant. I have some humble moments in my life, but that I think that I'm a most insignificant beggar, this is a very high level of advancement in reality. And we talk also last night a little bit, reading from the Bhagavad Gita, that the reason why people are so puffed up and arrogant and envious of Krishna is because they lack knowledge. They actually don't understand. They have a lack of knowledge. They think that to being puffed up is good. They think to be arrogant is good. They think to steal is good. They think to be envious of others is good. And therefore, everybody does things which is good for them. So therefore, the problem is not in that. The problem is in lack of knowledge. And therefore, Bhagavad Gita, when we read last night, the Bhagavad Gita offers that one should develop transcendental knowledge. And by this transcendental knowledge, get enlightened and understand one's real position, which is the speck, one insignificant speck in the ocean of specks of the souls in this material and spiritual worlds. We are just one little tiny insignificant spark in the huge, vast universe of sparks. And that's about it. So therefore, when Lakshmi speaks this way, it's ultimately we should understand this is for our own good that she speaks that way. Thank you, Srimati Lakshmi Devi, that we understand how the devotee should think. And therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is very valuable. We spoke also last time. Srimad Bhagavatam is valuable because by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we can see, oh, this is how pure devotee acts. This is how pure devotee relates to the Supreme Lord. This is how pure devotee prays to the Lord. So let's continue. In many places, purport by His Divine Grace, in many places the Shastras describe the Supreme Personality of Godhead as being more inclined towards His devotees than towards His wife, who always remains on His chest. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, Na tatame priyatama, atma yorni na shankaraha, na cha sankarshano na shrir, naivatma chayatha bhavan. Here Krishna plainly says that His devotees are more dear to Him than Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Sankarshan, the original cause of creation, the goddess of fortune, or even His own self. Elsewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.9.20, Shukadeva Goswami says, Nemam virinchona bhavo nashrir apyanga samshraya prasadam levire gopi yatat prapa vimuktidat. The Supreme Lord, who can award liberation to anyone, showed more mercy toward the gopis than to Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, or even the goddess of fortune, who is His own wife and is associated with His body. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam 10.47, 60 also states, Nayam Shriyanga unitantarate prasada svaryoshitam nalina ganda rucham kutonya rasotsave svabhuja danda grihita kanta labdha shisham ya udagad vraja sundarinam. The gopis received benediction from the Lord that neither Lakshmi Devi nor the most beautiful dancers in the heavenly planets could attain. In the rasa dance, the Lord showed His favor to the most fortunate gopis by placing His arm on their shoulder and dancing with each of them individually. No one can compare with the gopis who received the causeless mercy of the Lord. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that no one can receive the real favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead without following in the footsteps of the gopis. Even the goddess of fortune could not receive the same favor as the gopis, although she underwent severe austerities and penances for many years. In Vrindavan, Shri Vrindavan Dham, the physical Vrindavan in India right now, there's a deity called Gopishvara Mahadev. This is Lord Shiva himself, who was thinking, I also would like to, I'm also devotee, and I would also like to participate somehow in this amazing pastimes of yours. This is on the bank of Yamuna in Vamshivat, and I would also like to participate in rasa dance. Is it possible? Devotees sometimes, they wonder, I would like to do this service for you. And Lord Krishna said, well, it'll be a little bit difficult. And the reason is why is Lord Shiva's body is, you'll scare the gopis. Lord Shiva is, smeared with ashes. And he said, but you can stand at the entrance and be like a the guard at the door. and he achieved, he gave him the body of a gopi, and therefore we have a Gopishvara Mahadev. He's actually there guarding the entrance to the rasa dance. So it is not easy, meaning it is not easy to achieve the absolute mercy of the Lord. And for that, as the Lakshmi said, your hand, is the blessing, gives the blessings. In India, usually when you have these big posters, there's a Guruji sitting, and he holds like this, and from here emanates rays. You've seen this, yeah? Like Guruji, sends the rays from his right hand, and this is the hand of benediction, of blessings. So blessing is a very interesting concept. What is a blessing? What is the actual blessing? The Krishna said, I bless you, or Lord Brahma blesses, somebody, or Hiranyakashipu. Or what is the blessing? How does it actually work? Is it like he has some invisible, bucket, or he throw the? How does that work? There's no physical measurement of what blessing is. So it's, actually the result, I was reading a little bit, and I tried to see what Srila Prabhupada said about this, and there is no such a thing as physical measurement of blessings. And we know in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Lord Chaitanya sat at the altar, Mahaprakash Leela, Lord Chaitanya sat on the altar and he said, my dear devotees, I am God, I am the Supreme. Everybody was shocked. He was sitting in a place with Sheila. Sheila's, imagine one day, one devotee says, excuse me, Sheila's, I'm sitting here. Everybody was shocked. And he said, I'm the Supreme. Now you can tell me whatever you want, all your hidden most desires. Tell me and I will fulfill them all. Imagine, that this happened to you. Bhakta Pip. The God says, okay, tell me whatever you like, I'll do it. That's kind of tricky, you're like, wow, what do I really want? It's not easy. So devotees were like, it is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat. Some devotee said, please bless me to be your eternal servant. Some devotee says, please bless my father to become a devotee. Please bless all the envious men to become favorable towards you. So different devotees have different prayers. And they went to Kolavecha Sridhar. Kolavecha Sridhar, we know, is a very, very, lived a very poor life, very poor devotee. Sometimes some devotees are not rich by the dint of karma, prarabdha karma. They are not rich, they're poor. And Kolavecha Sridhar was extremely poor. So much so that he was like, living very, very, very super austere life due to the lack of money. And Lord Chaitanya said, okay, Kolavecha, what do you like? What do you like from me? What kind of blessing do you like? And Kolavecha said, my dear Lord, I don't need anything from you. I just want your blessings to never forget your lotus feet, life after life. Imagine, you have a chance. Now is my chance to become rich. Or, my dear Lord, I want you to please give me lots of material facilities so I can serve you. He didn't say this. He just said, I just want to serve you birth after birth. This is an amazing thing. And Lord Chaitanya gave him the blessing. So this is the blessing is an unseen force, you can say, unseen spiritual force that make a devotee, in our case, make devotee to make spiritual progress in Krishna consciousness. It's an unseen, you can say, unseen force given by the Lord. And therefore, Yasya Deve Parabhaktir, Tata Deve Tata Guru, Tasyaite Katita Hyarta, Prakashanta Mahatmana. With the blessings of Krishna and the Guru, everything is possible. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a verse, Mukam Karoti Vachalam, Pangum Lagyanati Girim, Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande. There's a Shri Guru Undinatarinam, but there's a Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. That by the grace of Krishna and Guru, the lame man can cross the mountains. Imagine the lame who is like, can cross the huge mountains. And the blind man can see the stars. Meaning, this is also figurative, meaning that everything is possible. Everything is possible by the grace of the Guru. And what is everything? Everything doesn't mean now I'm praying to the Lord or I can lift stone of 500 pounds. Everything means that we achieve the highest destination achievable for a jiva, for a spirit soul, meaning to go to the spiritual world, to penetrate the walls, the thick walls of the material prison. It is described that the material world is like a universe, is like this, and contained of Bhumir Apanalavayu, Kamanoburi Evacha, Ahankara Mityame, Bina Prakriti Mashtada, this Bina, separated energies of the Lord, which are made of earth, water, fire, air, ether. So imagine all this one universe is covered by earth, and then 10 times bigger than earth is the water, and 10 times bigger than the water is the fire, and so on. So each universe is like envelope, is like a super tight jail. We cannot penetrate. There's no realistic chance to leave this material universe. But by the grace of the Guru and Krishna, this is possible by the blessings. So blessings are very important. So let's just finish the purport. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that no one can receive the real favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead without following in the footsteps of gopis. We read this. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discusses this point with Venkata Bhatta in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The Lord inquired from Venkata Bhatta, your worshipable goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, always remains on the chest of Narayan, and she is certainly the most chaste woman in the creation. However, my Lord is Shri Krishna, a cowherd boy engaged in tending cows. Why is it that Lakshmi, being such a chaste wife, wants to associate with my Lord? Just to associate with Krishna, Lakshmi abandoned all transcendental happiness in Vaikuntha and for a long time accepted vows and regulative principles and performed unlimited austerities. Venkata Bhatta replied, Lord Krishna and Lord Narayan are one and the same. But the pastimes of Krishna are more relishable due to their sportive nature. They're very pleasing for Krishna's Shaktis. Since Krishna and Narayan are both the same personality, Lakshmi's association with Krishna did not break her vow of chastity. Rather, it was in great fun that the goddess of fortune wanted to associate with Lord Krishna. The goddess of fortune considered that her vow of chastity would not be damaged by her relationship with Krishna. Rather, by associating with Krishna, she could enjoy the benefit of the rasa dance. If she wanted to enjoy herself with Krishna, what fault is there? Why are you joking so about this? This is a little bit of a philosophical point. In India particularly, people don't understand that Vishnu and Krishna are one and the same. It's Vishnu, we call it Tattva, or Krishna Tattva. In India, people think that Krishna, because they have this Dasha Avatar song, and Dasha Avatar, and Krishna is one of the Dasha Avatars of Vishnu, and so on and so forth. But in reality, from our philosophy, Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is described that Vishnu and Krishna are actually non-different. There's different, of course, slight differences, particularly in the case of Krishna. He has 4 qualities that other incarnations or expansions do not have. And this is the Krishna plays his flute. The others don't have, like Vishnu incarnations, Varaha, Nrsimha. They do not have these particular qualities. The Krishna plays his flute. The playing in Krishna's flute is like a unique only to Krishna. When Krishna plays his flute, everything gets stunned. We were reading recently in Manchester how when Krishna plays flute, everybody just stops. Everything stops. The cows, with the half grass in their mouth, they stop. Everybody stops, so stunned by the beauty of the sound of Krishna's flute. And then Krishna's beauty is like an amazing thing. The Krishna's beauty is unparalleled. Then we have Krishna's associates, Krishna's friends, Krishna's girlfriends, gopis, Krishna's mother, Yashoda. This pastime of Yashoda Damodar is an amazing pastime. I was a little bit getting into depth this time. I read some of them. Shivara Maharaja's book called, anybody knows the title? Damodar Janani. And I read some other book of Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj and some other comments of the Sanatana Goswami. And it's an amazing pastime. It's a very amazing pastime. When you really get into depth. So these devotees are not ordinary devotees, not just another devotee, Madhya Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, the Gopas, the Gopis. And then the fourth point, which is very, very unique to Krishna, is the beauty or sweetness of Sri Vrindavan Dham. No other place in the spiritual world, no other, you can say, I don't want to say part of the spiritual world, but no other spiritual world, because they're, as Prabhupada called it, spiritual planets. Or let's call it this way. No other spiritual planet is as sweet and amazing as Sri Vrindavan Dham. Sri Vrindavan Dham is also called Madhupuri, or honey, the city, like a town of a location, as sweet as honey. Imagine, honey is so sweet, and then everything is sweet in Vrindavan. So this is the uniqueness of Krishna, and this is the uniqueness of these devotees. But at the same time, there is no difference. Krishna's coverage in the Chaitanya Charitamrita describes different, incarnations of Krishna, describes the planets, Vaikuntha Lokas, describe the Mathura and Vrindavan, and he said, in reality, there is no difference between these planets. We are making comparison. No, we are grading them, you can say, just for the sake of comparison. But in reality, they're all transcendental. It's not like people in the Vaikuntha, they think, oh, these guys, in Mathura, they are like, we want to go and take over. You are immigrating from Vaikuntha Loka to Rama Loka, whatever. It's a better living standards there. They don't do this. It's a transcendental. They're perfectly happy, perfectly transcendentally situated, without any tinge, without any drop of contamination of the material world. And we can see in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Lord Chaitanya asked this devotee from South India, he asked Murari Gupta, can you stop chanting Rama, 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 and chant Krishna, because Krishna is your Lord? And he was all night in completely anguished, in total agony. He said, my dear Lord, I tried, and kill me, I cannot do it. How can I give up Ram? How can I give up Ramachandra? And Lord Chaitanya said, this is the best servant. The best servant is the one, what is it? The best servant is the one who never gives up his master. This is the best servant. So it's not like they lack anything in the so-called lower stages, like Vaikuntha Lokas. It is all transcendental. So this is just one side point here. So Lord Chaitanya replied, I know that there is no fault in the goddess of fortune, but still she could not enter into the rasa dance. We hear this from the revealed scriptures. The authorities of Vedic knowledge met Lord Ramachandra in Dandakaranya, and by their penances and austerities, they were allowed to enter into the rasa dance. But can you tell me why the goddess of fortune Lakshmi could not get that opportunity? To this, Venkatabhata replied, I cannot enter into the mystery of this incident. I'm an ordinary living being. My intelligence is limited, and I am always disturbed. How can I understand the pastimes of the Supreme Lord? They are deeper than millions of oceans. This is a very significant point here. Jashi, Kodanitai, my Prashashi Ki Jai. The first of all, the devotee, it's not easy to enter these pastimes. Even the pastimes, we think they are very obvious. They're not easy to understand. There's always depth to the pastimes of the Lord. And therefore, I remember when I was a young devotee, and I read this book by Sanatana Goswami, Dasa Tipani, commentary on the 10 canto. And then I read and I was thinking, okay, I heard these stories already. I read them 2-3 times, Why is there such a great soul, Sanatana Goswami, commenting on this? And what he comments is like, okay, But then I read them later on, some years later, and you thought, wow, this is amazing. This is actually amazing. And because these pastimes are so deep and so full of nectar that they can be eternally investigated and researched and looked into, and you will never find an end to them. Like this Yashoda Damodar pastime which we just finished today, finishing today, 1 month of, read this song. But this song is actually a revelation. This song is not written by a poet. This song is a revelation by Satyavrata Muni. That this pastimes came to him as a revelation, and he actually wrote them down. So these are not ordinary things that you are revealed. You're allowed to have such a mercy to get revelation from the Lord. Anyways, and to the last. Lord Chaitanya replied, Lord Krishna has a specific characteristic. He attracts everyone's heart by the mellow of his personal conjugal love. By following in the footsteps of the inhabitants of the planet known as Vrajaloka or Goloka Vrindavan, one can attain the shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. However, the inhabitants of that planet do not know that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They don't know. Imagine, they're in ignorance. But this ignorance is transcendental ignorance. We know sometimes when Madhya Yashoda, the pastime before, when Lord Krishna hears the picture, Lord Krishna ate dirt. And Madhya Yashoda said, what have you done? And all the boys said, he did it. He ate the dirt. And Krishna said, no, I didn't do it. Children, they lie sometimes, Krishna said, I didn't do it. And the old boy said, yes. Balaram also said, yes, he did it. He ate the dirt. This is not good. And Lord Krishna said, no, I didn't. And Madhya Yashoda said, come here, open your mouth. Let me see. Because if you had dirt, there's some dirt in your mouth. And Krishna said, no, look. And Krishna opened his mouth, and Yashoda looked in his mouth, and she saw the entire universe. Imagine to see the whole universe in the mouth of your child. And Yashoda was a little bit confused, because you have to understand that these devotees in Vrindavan, they are not big pundits, not big scholars. They're village people. I'm sure when you go to Scotland, some village, they ask him, can you tell me about, whatever some philosophical point, a mathematical point. They will say like, excuse me, I have to go milk my cows. And, this is simple people. So Vrindavan people are very simple people. So Madhya Yashoda was like confused. What's going on in the mouth of my child? And she saw that in the mouth of her child, whole universe, and she saw herself looking at the mouth of her child. And she saw another universe in the mouth. So she universe into universe and mother, and she was like, and Prabhupada explains this. The Prabhupada Yashoda did like this. Krishna, don't do that anymore. Come here. Let's take a bath. Yashoda just said, forget about this thing. Forget about this nonsense. Don't do this. Prabhupada use like this. Don't do this anymore. Okay, maybe you are something, but you still have to take a bath. So this is the beauty of Shivrindavan Dham. The devotees do not recognize Krishna, Krishna's Aishvarya, opulence, and therefore Krishna can be very easily exchanging this love with the inhabitants. If somebody is if you go, I don't know, what is the name of the prime minister in, or how do you call this? The prime minister. Do you have a prime minister or president in this Nicola? What's the name?
First Minister.
First minister. So imagine, she goes and you say, hey, how you doing? It doesn't work. She has a guards and everything. But when she goes home, her son or whatever, they said, Mom, come on, especially if she has a teenage son, they will not care if she's a president or whatever she is. Mom, this is embarrassing. There was once we read some years ago. There was a famous actress. I cannot remember her name. Very famous actress, considered the most cool films and this and that. And she said, when I go out with my daughter walks like 5 meters behind me. And she asked the daughter why. She said, this is very embarrassing to walk with you. And he said, but how? How is it embarrassing? I'm a famous actor. She said, I know, but you're old and they don't. It's embarrassing. So this is you can say the similar way that the devotees, they don't consider Krishna, because if they have this concept of Aishwarya, they will not relate to Krishna in such a way. They will not be angry at Krishna. They will not be, jealous of Krishna. They will not fall in love with Krishna, like the gopis and Srimati Radharani. And so let me finish this. Lord Krishna, unaware that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, the residents of Vrindavan like Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Devi, and the gopis treat Krishna as their beloved son or lover. Mother Yashoda accepts him as her son and sometimes binds him to a grinding mortar. Krishna's cowherd boyfriends think he's an ordinary boy and get up on his shoulders. In Goloka Vrindavan, no one has any desire other than to love Krishna. This is the difference. Loving Krishna, nothing else. When Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill, everybody was like, wow, such small child lifted. And Madhya Yashoda was like massaging his hand, and how can your hand will hurt, what are you doing to yourself? And you didn't eat anything. Madhya Yashoda is just concerned about Krishna. And the boys also wanted to help Krishna. The senior cowherd men, they took their sticks, also holding to help Krishna. And the most funny was his friend, Batu, or what is his name? Madhu Mangal. He said, Krishna, don't worry. If you want to take a break, if it's the hill is too heavy, by my Brahma Tejas, I can hold the hill, so no problem. If you give me a few sweets, of course. So this is the relationship that this devotees have with Krishna. And in the Ananda Vrindavan Champu, the book, it is described Madhya Yashoda, the whole conversation. Madhya Yashoda was sometimes angry at Krishna. You are lifting this hill and you are cold and you are this. And she was only concerned about Krishna's well-being in this whole thing. So everybody in Vrindavan is just simply loving Krishna. The conclusion is that one cannot associate with Krishna unless he has fully received the favor of the inhabitants of Vraja Bhumi. Therefore, if one wants to be delivered by Krishna directly, he must take to the service of the residents of Vrindavan who are unalloyed devotees of the Lord. And then we come to the same topic of blessings. But maybe I will, for a moment, stop here, because I just said certain amount of information. So if you want to say something, add something, or ask something, and then we can continue to the next topic if we have time. Yes, Prabhu.
No, just a comment that reminds me of the residents in Goloka, and because they have transient ignorance. And I had one devotee was saying that the residents have forgotten that Krishna is God, and are aware that Krishna is God. And Krishna is aware that he's God until he looks into the eyes of the Brajvasi. And as soon as he looks into the eyes of the Brajvasi, because he wants to reciprocate with their love, and their love of him as God, to reciprocate, he has to reciprocate by forgetting he's God. That's why he's running away.
Yes.
He is sure because he's forgotten that he is, just because he's become so absorbed in the way that they see him.
Yes. So it doesn't mean that we should forget that Krishna is God. Srila Prabhupada wanted us to worship Radha and Krishna in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan. Not that we are worshipping Radha and Krishna as Lakshmi Narayan, but we worship in the mood. This is the difference. There's a big difference. Because sometimes either one devotee, a little argument, a little bigger argument. He said that because if devotees in ISKCON don't practice spontaneous devotional service, they will go to Vaikuntha. And my answer was, we are not practicing we practice sadhana bhakti, but this is sadhana bhakti within the frame of Ragatmika bhakti. We don't follow sadhana bhakti like they follow in South India. This is different. We actually, from the very beginning, Prabhupada wrote Krishna book, and there's a rasa dance there. So 1972 or 1970, when was the first Bhagavad Gita printed? So it's not, Krishna book. It's not like we are now, we're doing yagyas, or we actually worshiping Radha and Krishna in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan, because to not make offenses, because we will misinterpret, we will not understand. But we are worshiping, following in our footsteps of our sampradaya. We are actually worshiping in this particular mood. And this particular mood of spontaneous devotional service, as Srila Prabhupada explains, and the Shastra explains, will, in one sense, automatically come when the devotee is ready. When devotee is ready, then this mood of spontaneous love will come, and Krishna will either send his representative, if the guru or some kind of a representative who would guide the devotee, or Krishna will guide the devotee himself. Lord Chaitanya would guide the devotee himself. This is described in the Shastra. So we are not in lack in anything. We are not in lack of anything. It's not like now, I'll be deprived because I was not, somehow didn't come to this platform of spontaneity. So therefore, I'll be forced to go Vaikuntha. And I said, no, and they're pushing me. This Vaikuntha bus is coming and pulling me to their cart. And I said, no, I want to go. No, you didn't deserve it. This doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. We are worshipping Radha and Krishna. After all, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Radha and Krishna. As Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahanya. That is not different from Radha and Krishna. So when we worship Lord Chaitanya, when we preach, when we do these things, so-called external things, or so-called sadhana things, we actually worshiping Lord Chaitanya, we are getting the blessings of Lord Chaitanya. So now, I think, yes, Prabhu.
No, she's wondering what he was saying, we need to follow the Swami who said follow the Brajvasi. He's recommending you do that. And so Sri Ramanuja was saying, we're following the Brajvasi, we're following Srila Prabhupada.
Exactly. This is
This is the perfect example.
Srila Prabhupada is a
Typical Brajvasi. We also follow all kinds of acharyas we have in our sampradaya. It's not like we are devoid. We read Rupa Goswami's books, Sanatana Goswami's books. These are all the eternal residents of Shiva and Dham. Anyways, this is a different topic. But the blessings, I want to say a few words about the blessings. First of all, devotees should feel blessed to be anywhere. We were talking last night about this, that the devotee should understand, or anybody should understand, but the people in the material world, they think so, Ishvara Ham Bhogi, we read a verse yesterday, that they think, I am the powerful, I am doing this, I am this. Especially if they're rich, if they have a little material opulence, they think, oh, what is this? What are these Vaishnavas? They're just wandering around. I am the money maker. I have a big car, whatever. And it's very difficult. So therefore, devotee has this attitude of understanding that blessings is to actually have it. First of all, to be have a material body. Second of all, to have a somehow or other that we came in contact with Krishna. This is like an unbelievable blessing. Somehow or other, there are millions and millions of billions of jivas only in this planet Earth. And some of the jivas, it is described that they're even jivas in stones. We wonder how can jiva be in a stone? But there's some crystals, they grow somewhat, whatever. So jiva, this is a jiva. Maybe they were meditating in their last life to be nothing, so they became, they're fulfilled or whatever. A stone. You imagine you're sitting there as a stone, 100,000. How long the stone lives? Millions of years, or whatever. There was some years ago. I remember I was looking at the rare species of life. There was some worm which lives somewhere in Alaska, hundreds of meters under the earth. They were drilling because in Alaska they drill for the oil. So they were drilling hundreds of meters, and they drilled. There was a perfectly preserved alive worm in the ice, some ice, mixed ice with dirt. Imagine what kind of life is that? You live as a worm hundreds of meters somewhere. So we are having this amazing gift of having human form of body. We can speak, we can read, we can listen, we have a tongue, we can chant. So this is the first blessing that devotees understand. Yeah, I'm actually very blessed. I'm supremely blessed. And second of all, as devotees of the Lord, we have opportunity to please the Lord and therefore get His blessings. What I thought, the very good example, one of them, of course, there's so many examples, but one good example is Maharaj Prataparudra. He was the king, and he really wanted to associate with the Lord, but king said no. Sorry, the Lord Chaitanya said no. You're a king, I don't. Mendicants and kings, they don't go together. So, Hare Krishna, no. And Prataparudra was very depressed because he was seeing the Lord, but what happened? The devotees of the Lord, they saw Prataparudra's devotion, and they thought, oh, this is so, they felt their heart was breaking with the devotion, humility of Prataparudra. They went to Lord Chaitanya and they said, please, Lord, bless Prataparudra. And the Lord said, well, he's a king. I cannot associate with the kings. So then the devotees started glorifying Prataparudra, his quality. So the Lord will be somehow pleased. The Lord will think, okay, he's there. That's very nice. And on the end, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he was the kind of a guru of Prataparudra. He said, my dear king, do not worry. Because of your firm determination, I'm sure that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy will definitely be bestowed upon you. So basically, to get the blessings of the Lord, to get opportunity to make spiritual advancement, we have to, first of all, develop good qualities of devotee. And please the devotees, please Guru, please the devotees, and pray and wait and be patient. Utsaham nischet dharya tattatar karma pravatana. So utsaham nischet and dharya. We have to be very patient. Patience is a very important thing in devotional service. The people here, particularly in this room, devotees who practice, decades and decades. I never seen so many senior devotees who are like active, like this. Amazing. This is like a, how do you say this? A treasure. It's like a treasure to have all these amazing devotees. You have done millions of tons of service, hours and hours of valuable service, and patience. Patience, yes. Maybe this year is not the best, but next year will be better. Or maybe another 10 years, or maybe after 20 years, God will get Krishna's mercy. Patience. Many devotees are not patient. I said, yes, now. I want to do it now. And nothing happens. And then they get, as we call it, fried in ISKCON, fried, and they'll leave. And this is unfortunate. Many times, devotees get first initiation. Before they get first initiation, they think like, I want to get initiated. I don't want to be bhaktin forever. I'm already 2 years in the movement. How long I'm going to be bhaktin, whatever, Sandra, whatever my name is. And then you finally get initiation, and your name is Subhadra Devi Das, and everybody's beating the drums, and and then you're like, I am Subhadra Devi Das. I remember when I got my name first, and I came after, we were talking something, and someone said, hey, Bhakta Sasha. I said, excuse me? Jaya Sacinandana Das. No more Bhakta Sasha. I was very proud, that I got initiated. So this is the, and then after this you think, okay, I'm I'm initiated already with 1 year, but I should get second initiation. I can go on the altar and do something exclusive services, not in a negative way, but you know, devotees. So you're working to do this. You're working, you know, being surrendered, doing service to, and then finally you got second initiation, and then once you get second initiation, then there's nothing more to work for. And many, I've seen like a really, unfortunately, many devotees, female and male, after the second initiation, they somehow drift into their own, because there's nothing more to achieve. No more certificates to get, you know, no more recognitions, and you're just another Subhadra Devidas, you know, for another 20 years. So that's time, then we have to really show our determination, enthusiasm, and patience. Okay, I'll be another 50 years. You know. For men, you know, you don't need to take sannyas when you're 50. You can take when you're 70 or 75, or maybe you don't need to even take it at all. You know. So this is very important in the devotional life, and therefore, by doing this, by being determined, by being patient, by pleasing the spiritual master, pleasing Krishna by our services, then we can expect the blessings. We can expect blessings. And again, you can see with some older devotees who are senior devotees who practice for so many years, they'll say, yeah, I, you know, of course, with the humility, they said, yeah, I got some blessings. I got mercy at that. I remember this year, I got mercy. Like this 2007, I got so much mercy that year, for example. Or 2000, or 1994, I remember I got so much mercy. You know, devotees remember these points. And these points are like keeping us going. And one day, when we are leaving this body, this will be the ultimate mercy, the ultimate blessing of the Lord. No more this terrible material body, no more mucus, no more coughing. It's over. No more mind problem, you know, mental, you know, devotees sit on the, you know, outside in the bench, you know, sometimes looking at the sky, and you know, there's some trouble there, you know. And he said, Prabhu, what's up? I said, I'm thinking about life. And you think, oh no. Oh no, he's thinking about life, you know. You know, this is calling for trouble. You know. So this is, we always said, mind, problem of the mind. As this devotee said, my dear Lord, how can I understand the pastimes of Lakshmi? My mind is always disturbed. My body is disturbing me. My mind is always disturbed. How can I understand this? So therefore, the ultimate blessing of the Lord is to take this body away from us. No more. And you just said, thank you. Just give it up. Throw it away in the garbage. Haribol, let it be eaten by vultures, as Bhagavatam describes. Vultures, coyotes, and we don't have, I don't know, maybe there's in the forest. Are there coyotes or some kind of wild? No. Scotland is a peaceful country, huh? A fox, okay. Somebody will eat it anyways. As Gokishore Das Babaji said, when I die, I don't care, you know, samadhi, just drag me. Put a rope on my leg and drag me across the Vrindavan Dham, and that's it. This is what he taught about the material body. So this is the ultimate blessings. Then we are done, we are free to serve Krishna in our full capacity. Right now we are serving in this capacity or that capacity, but the ultimate blessing is this. Jai Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jaya. Any more comments? Yes, Prabhu.
The idea of blessings when it comes to getting specific. I had that listen to Prabhupada memories of disciples and they often, you know, maybe sort of had the idea to get a specific instruction from Prabhupada.
Yes.
By executing that, then it becomes empowered.
Yes.
So what I said, is that a similar sort of blessing? You know,
I'm sorry?
like, you know, he said, if we just chant Hare Krishna, that's fine. We've heard the consciousness that we're chanting Hare Krishna because Prabhupada has told us to chant Hare Krishna.
Yes.
And the chanting becomes empowered or blessed.
Yes.
But is this the same sort of blessing? It's just different sort of blessings.
It's the same. Blessing is one. There's no hundreds of blessings. Just how much blessings do you receive? The blessing is always there. Prabhupada said, if you chant, I just recently read, if you chant 16 rounds sincerely to the rest of your life, you will go back to Godhead. I mean, this is a blessing already. But there are some personal blessings that Prabhupada offered to certain devotees, like this story with Brahmananda Prabhu and his brother, Gargamuni, when they went to Pakistan. Prabhupada wanted them to preach in Pakistan. So they went to Pakistan, and somehow there was some rebellions on the street and some demonstrations, whatever. And I think they were even arrested or something like this. And they were sent back to India. But what happened, the local newspaper or the national newspaper in Pakistan wrote an article, two Hare Krishna devotees, two Western Hare Krishna devotees got killed in Pakistan. And Prabhupada read this, and Prabhupada was very sorry. I mean, his disciples got killed. He was very, very, and then they came back. You know, they actually, this was misinformation, and they came, and Prabhupada was so pleased. The Prabhupada embraced them immediately, smelled their heads. You know, he was so pleased to see them, and he said, "For this endeavor alone, I guarantee you, you will go back to Godhead." And then Gargamuni, when we were not recently, but Brahmananda was still probably alive. I went with one devotee to visit them in Vrindavan. There, these two rooms in the hotel. I forgot the name. Anyway, this place. And then Gargamuni said, you know, I don't care. You know, whatever I do now, maybe I do this and that. Prabhupada promised. I don't care. Prabhupada promised I'll go back to God. I'm convinced that I will go back. So sometimes the blessing is precise. You know, sometimes blessing is general. But it doesn't mean that Prabhupada didn't tell me personally that I should go and whatever preach in Scotland, you know, that I will not go to Scotland. We should always try to. Therefore, there are Prabhupada's books, there are Prabhupada letters, and particularly the three books which are like the Bible of every preacher and manager, the Prabhupada Shikshamrita, which I read hundreds and hundreds of times. I really no words to recommend this book more. I mean, this is such a great book. I carried these books for years with me. I remember I carried these three, and I carry Hari Shori's Prabhu's first three parts, you know, Transcendental Diary, and I had the Bhagavatam whole one book, and I had the Chaitanya Charitamrita one book. These are my books I carried all the time wherever I went. So read Prabhupada's letters. What is Prabhupada instructions to certain devotees? What Prabhupada wanted from this? What Prabhupada wanted? How Prabhupada wanted this? And how Prabhupada wanted that? And then you can have an idea. Oh, maybe I should do this for Prabhupada. Nobody tells me now you should go this, you should go that. I have a my conscience. I pray to Prabhupada, and I ask other devotees for instructions. And what do you think? Is this a good idea? The only thing I know, I want to please Prabhupada somehow or other. So like this is a good attitude, I think. And then Krishna will give you intelligence. Who told Prabhupada to go to America? Nobody. It's not like somebody, Bhaktisiddhanta said, please go to Boston Harbor on Sunday 31st. No, he said he preached this in English. This was the instruction. It's a very vague instruction. Like someone said, preach Krishna consciousness. Wow, this is such a vague instruction. But Prabhupada was very much absorbed in this, and he wanted, to see how can I do this. And he tried. We know from Prabhupada's history, he tried to go to Japan. He failed. We didn't have the money. Then he tried to go to Trinidad. They accepted him, and he said, "You can come and preach, but only Advaita philosophy, not your thing." And Prabhupada says, "No, I'm not going." And in the end, he ended up in Boston. And nobody told him to go to the Butler, Pennsylvania, or New York. He just went there. He just thought Prabhupada was inspired also by this. Of course, we don't know what happened between him and Krishna, but he was definitely inspired to go to New York City, and he proved to be very fruitful. I mean, the Dasa avatar were rowing the boat of Prabhupada when he was on the Jaladuta. So Krishna was with him. So this is how we try to get blessings. We are actively greedy for blessings. Hare Krishna. Anything else, or should we end for today? Thank you very much for your attention. Srila Prabhupada ki Jaya.
Jai Sacinandana Prabhu.